Hi friends, my name's Jenny and welcome back to my channel. Today in my sis grief journey, I am just going to be doing some makeup today and want to moisturize my face and put a little makeup on. If you joined me before, a special thank you to you for making the choice to spend some more time with me and viewing my content. If this is your first time, then a warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining, and I hope you subscribe and you return. That way you don't miss out on any of my content. So I have a few things that I want to share with you all. But for now, let's go ahead and get into what I'm doing for moisturizing my face. So I love this. This came from my sister-in-law, put me onto this. So it's called Bliss Drench and Quench Cream to Water for All Day Moisture. And I love this. I received from my my brother's wife a package that had all kind of like self-care items. It had moisturizers, lip balms, eye mask, face mask, cleansers, facial cleansers, lotions, like hand lotions, all kind of things. So I love this, the feeling this gives me. Such a light moisturizer. And I absolutely love the way my skin drinks this stuff up. It's amazing. I love it. Got a little mini bottle of this Bliss from my sister-in-law, and it was good for me to use about a week. And then I went ahead and got a full jar of it. This is, I got it from Amazon. It's 1.7 ounces, and it's really good. So I recommend that. So I have moisturized my face, and now I'm going to do a little eye makeup. So what I'll start with, and I'm using a Balm Paris Hilton Bombshell Beauty. I like this palette. There's lots of choices, and I like the way it looks on my skin, but that's what I'm using today. And I am going to start out with this sparkly, it's a shimmery white, and I'm going to go ahead and just put that into my brow line, under my brow line. I'm just going to start with that. So I'm going to go from here, but I'm also going to go up to my brow line. I'm going to use my mirror here. It has a built-in light here. And turn that up. I'm going to use that so I can see a little bit better what I'm doing. So while I'm putting on my makeup, I just want to thank you all for tuning in to my mukbang. The mukbang that I did in memory of my sister. For those who don't know, my channel was created in memory of my sister to chronicle my grief, any kind of self-care, and also to take you all on my travels. So here's something I'm trying to put together, and I'm going to share this because I actually shared with you all shortly after I started my channel. I shared with all of you in a prior video, I believe, that I had some ideas for this channel. One being to take you all on my travels. My family and I have always loved the beach. It's one of the drivers of why we moved to California, for diversity, but also we wanted to be near the ocean. And that was just what we saw for our lives and what we wanted for our son. So that prompted the move. But we took vacations quite often, probably at least a couple times a year. If we couldn't do two, we would like to do at least one time getting to the ocean. And so we ended up traveling to several different places before and after we had our son. So we drove, our first place we went to was South Padre Island in Texas. And that's actually where my wife proposed to me. So South Padre Island was our very first trip together, and it was actually a road trip. And I'll have to share more about that road trip in the future. But that was our first location. The next place we went, I believe, was Hawaii. We went to Hawaii, the Big Island, for our honeymoon after we were married. So we got engaged in 2015 and we were married in 2016. And that's also the same year we went to Hawaii. Beautiful island, but it was super expensive, and it was on our wish list, and we decided we were going to go out and go to Hawaii, which we did and had an amazing time. The following year, we went to, we got our passports and went to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And I may insert some pictures, clips from that trip to Puerto Vallarta. But one of the things my sister had was a dream to go to Mexico or go overseas somewhere. She actually wanted to get her passport because she didn't have it, and she wanted to go for her 40th birthday. And that plan didn't end up working out. And so she still had a very nice 40th birthday, but it wasn't what she envisioned. So when she came to visit me in California after I moved, and when we talked on the phone, it's something that came up in our conversation quite often, was her desire to get out of the country and go somewhere. And she kept bringing up Mexico. So after her passing, it popped into my head around the same time it popped into my head about this channel. I'm not sure if I shared, but if not, I'm going to go ahead and share now. And I'm building in a copper tone that I'm going to put on the actual lid from here to like about to where I had my sparkly shimmery white. So I'm putting a copper, and I really like this look at this coppery gold. It's real beautiful. I like this. The way it plays against that white is nice. Love it. So after my sister's passing, and we went to Kansas to have the services, we had the memorial the first week of December, and then I decided with my wife that we were going to drive back. So we got a one-way flight, and we decided that we would either book a flight on the way back, but we were just going to do that to start with, to get down there, depending on what came up. And what we decided is we were going to go ahead and once we got there, we decided, yeah, we will be driving back. We rented a car from Enterprise and decided, hey, we're just going to bring that car right on back and drive it back to California. I just didn't want to deal with the airport. It's a lot when you have a little kiddo, and for our son being on the spectrum, it is so much going through those long lines, standing in there waiting for security, and if they're backed up, oh goodness, help us. It's just so much. My son also likes to be able to go to the restroom in a place he's familiar, and he doesn't like to use, those gas station or restaurant restrooms. He just doesn't. So when it came to driving back, that was a challenge, but it was even a bigger challenge at the airport because he doesn't like those automatic flushes. So loud, and it's very disorienting to some people who have those sensitivities to noise, including our son, who is on the spectrum. So we just thought overall, let's take it slow, let's drive back. And on that drive home, it gave me time to really sit back and think, and just kind of let it sink in what had happened. Everything was so quick. Found out on Thanksgiving about my sister potentially not living through the night. And excuse me, I'm coming down with a little bit of a cold, and also not only that, but getting the call the day after Thanksgiving that she had passed, and then knowing I had to jump on a flight that same morning and to head back to California and plan our trip to Kansas. It was just a lot. Things had happened very quickly, and I don't think I really had a moment to take it in. I was go, 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 go. Once we got home from our flight from Vegas, we came home and I immediately got to work unpacking and repacking, trying to figure out between my wife's work and my work, projects that I needed to complete before I headed off. So I was handling that, trying to get things squared away. We were doing a Zoom with my family to figure out what day are we going to do this service so that we can start getting the notifications out. We started working on the obituary, which my niece ended up taking over and we wanted her to we helped her out, but we wanted her to make it acceptable to her. Her and her mom were living together at the time, and we knew that, we wanted her obviously to have that final say and make sure that it felt good to her. And so she took over that project after we started it and got us to the finish line on that. The arrangements, everybody kind of had a task. Everybody was taking on their different task. And we were going. And then then we were going because we had to get to the airport, back to Kansas. We were back, and then it was go arrangements, getting things together for the day of the services, and, taking my niece to the store and her boyfriend so that we wanted to have a theme of colors. I started thinking about it, and my sister had been in recovery. My sister had suffered from alcoholism, and she really fought for her sobriety. Right before I gave birth to my son, she became sober. This is another thing that I'm talking about in this video that I haven't talked about much. That I would be talking about addiction and loving someone with an addiction, and that was part of my story too. My sister had an addiction, and she fought really hard to become sober, and she reached 5 years in 2023. And in any event, I looked up that the recovery color that's recognized worldwide was purple. And then my sister's, one of her favorite colors was turquoise. So we decided that we encouraged people to wear turquoise or purple, but come as you are. You don't have to wear any specific color if you're coming to the memorial. Even if you can't make it, you could wear those colors on the day of her service, or think of her wearing those colors. So I took my niece and her boyfriend to get some of those colors, because we decided that after everybody had already packed or traveled, or people just didn't have it. So there was just a lot going on. I was making my sister's memory picture board. for her services. I'll insert that as well, likely. So that you all can see that was a long process going to the store and getting everything for that. And then thankfully I had family to help me put the picture order in, go pick up pictures from Walgreens, and then I'm sitting there cutting it out, trying to make sure everybody's represented. It's something that my sister and I started when my grandfather passed away. Our mother's father, our grandfather, when he passed away in the early 2000s, that's the first time we had made a memory board. So we made it in honor of our grandfather, and it gave us something to do. The grandchildren were working on that, so my little cousins helped as well. But me and my sister were spearheading that and the kind of the leaders of that. When my mom passed, my sister and I spent a lot of time on that board. The rest of our family, my intermediate family, my father, my brother, sister-in-law, they all played little parts, my niece, but me and my sister really spearheaded making that memory board happen. So it was important to me when my sister passed that she had a great memory board. It's something that we did when loved ones passed to help in our grief. That's something that we did together. I ended up doing that alone. I was hoping to be able to do it with family, but there was so much to do. It was sudden. We weren't expecting this. My sister wasn't expecting to be passing, obviously. Like, it was a sudden thing. It wasn't something where there were arrangements in place. Like with my mother, we had known it was coming, so there had already been arrangements made. She'd already made her wishes known on all aspects, up to them working on her obituary. My father and her before she passed, we didn't know about it. Me and my siblings. But anyway, there was just a lot going on. And so on that drive home, I got a chance to be like, shit, it's true. Like, my sister passed away, and I'm still sometimes in disbelief, but that was my chance to really take it in. And on that drive home is where the idea was born to start this channel, including chronicling travel. My niece had something called a paper her. So her first name, but it was paper and then her first name. And so she did a school project, and I thought it would be so cool to do this with my sister, get a picture and kind of take her on my travels. So the idea came about that on my sister's 1-year anniversary, around that would also be her birthday. Her birthday's December 12th. So I thought about this year, let's do a cruise to Mexico or somewhere out of the country, a beach location, and let's spread a little of her ashes so I can really help those dreams for her a reality. So I talked about it with family, and several people were on board. Not everybody's knowing if they can make it financially work or make it work with work. I'm not even sure if I can make it work, but I know we're going to do something. So that's what is going on now. Just trying to plan that. I've isolated a group of people who are interested, sent out my research on the different cruise lines and what rates would be, and I'm trying to see if that's going to come together. I don't know if it's going to come together, if enough people are going to be able to confirm they can come. But I know that in any event, my wife's 40th birthday will be 2 days after my sister's birthday, and so I know that we could make it a joint thing. So that's something that I'm hoping I can share with you all this December, is us going on travels and spreading my sister's ashes. It's something I've been holding close to the vest because I didn't know if I'd be able to bring it to fruition. This idea, this memorial for her. I'm committed and adamant, and I am determined that even if it doesn't happen the way I think I want it to happen, I plan on doing something to memorialize my sister around her birthday. And whenever that is, I want to bring you all with me. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you all. And I do also want to share a little bit of stories about, for those a part of the LGBTQ plus family. So am I. I have a spouse, I have a wife, and my sister was also part of that community. my sister was also queer. And so I want to share some of that story as well. And I want to make some light videos for you all, because that's grief. There's the joy, there's the happiness, there's the memories, there's the pain of losing that person. And it continues. So I want to share that with you all. I added a pop of a darker chocolate, and I'm just going to blend it out. And the reason why we want to blend these out is I don't want any harsh lines. So I like to take this big brush to do my blending. And it's kind of curved, so it's like it perfectly fits my eyes. So love to use this for blending at the ends. And so to show you all what that looks like, I'm gonna do my eyebrows next. If I can find my eyebrow. Pencil. So 2 announcements are, that's the reason for the name of my channel, Jenny and Nellie Travels, is that I eventually want to chronicle travels, any travels that I take with my family. I want to somehow incorporate my sister in each of those trips so that she's a part of it. And so in my mind, she's somewhat getting a chance to live out some of these dreams of hers to travel. And even if it's here in California, I want to be able to share any new memories I create on trips specifically with my sister, and just having her spirit there. So that's one thing. And then I will be doing some story times. So LGBTQ storylines, probably my coming out story. I'll share that. But before that, I'll probably share my sister's coming out story, because it's interesting when I think about her coming out story and how that impacted me, and kind of how I took that news, which it's surprising to me now, but it was surprising to her. So just sharing that as well. So one of the last things I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing some concealer, a lighter color that I like to use. Sometimes I use this as a concealer as well. And I just do a line down my nose, all the way to the tip. And then I go underneath the eyes. And this brightens me up. I don't do a full face of makeup. I grew up with quite a bit of acne. I don't really have acne anymore. I get a blemish here and there, but it's definitely not like acne everywhere like I used to have growing up. But as a result, I just realized what works best for my skin. And what works best for my skin is not trying to stay away from doing like a full face of makeup and doing that full full on shading and foundation and all that stuff. And so I use my big brush to spread out this color I use for concealer, and you see how it just kind of brightens me up. So if you see that, how it just brightened me up some. And you know, just make sure you get all that taken out and off your face, like spread that out. I am going to be doing a little eyeliner, and I want to ask you all, if no one's asked you today, if you're grieving, how are you doing with your grief? No one's asked you today, how are you grieving? How are you feeling? How are you doing? I really want to know. And I want to encourage you. And I want to challenge you. In your time of grief, take it as an opportunity to really take stock of what's going on in your life. And if you're happy with things that are going on in your life, what brings you happiness, I want you to zero in on that. But I also want you to take a look at anything that you might be afraid to do. Maybe you've been thinking about something for a while. Let's say you've been thinking about, I want to learn how to play the guitar. It's something, I have a little redness, so I'm going to go a little down with some of this left over on my brush to cover some of this up. I want to encourage you, if you have been thinking about doing something and you've let fear get in the way. Let's say you've been thinking about starting to play the guitar. You've been wanting to learn how to play the guitar since you were a kid. And for whatever reason, you keep putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and you haven't done it yet. And you're afraid that it's too overwhelming. Let's say you're afraid that I'm going to get in there, I'm just not going to have enough time. I'm not going to have enough talent. What if I invest in this and it doesn't work out? We're worried about it not being the outcome we want. And I would encourage you to step outside of that and just have the bravery to give it a try. And I only say that for your benefit, because we don't know how things are going to happen unless we try. So I want to encourage you that if you have something that's in the back of your mind, let's say you're wanting to start a book, you want to start writing a book, and it's been in the back of your mind, but you're just thinking, oh, I'm not an author. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, that's too overwhelming. Take 5 to 10 minutes out of each day and really dedicate and put that time. You can take 10 minutes of your scrolling, 10 minutes of your routine in the morning. If you can listen to something, some guides on how to do the thing you want to do, you're going to be further along than if you did nothing at all, even if it's 10 minutes a day, even if it's 15 minutes every day. So I want to encourage you to do that. I want you to hang in there and be kind to yourself, and make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and please share these videos. One of the things that I'm thinking of doing as well, when I reach 100, which is a small number, but when I reach 100, because I only have about 40 some, when I reach 100 subscribers, I plan on doing a live, that's one. And two, I plan on a surprise guest, having a surprise guest join me in a video for you all. And I think it'll be fun, and I appreciate you all for your kind comments and spending your time with me. Hang in there. Hey, this is Jenny. I forgot to show you all my spray routine to rehydrate my skin, and also that I did do a lined lid with black liquid eyeliner. This is the final look. I will leave my heart at the door. I won't say a word. They've all been said before, you know. So why don't we just play pretend like we're not scared of what is coming next, or scared of having nothing left. Look, don't get me wrong, I know there is no tomorrow. All I ask is if this is my last night with you, hold me like I'm more than just a friend. Give me a memory I can use. Take me by the hand while we do as lovers do. It matters how this ends.